Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, as usual, Josh Kimmel. With me is very tired Dave, wearing the same shirt as last time, and Tank Top Twins. And then Marco. What's up, Marco?
You guys look like such douchebags. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's a gimmick now. Honestly, I was wearing a jacket before this. Yeah. One of our listeners called us the Tank Top Twins. So
I'm in a pajama shirt and I have dragon PJs on for my bottoms. So
you have no idea what happened behind the scenes. I got my hair done. I had to pick out an outfit. I was full to the nine. This might as well be ESPN at this point. But today we are here to talk about my 2022 redraft rankings for the year, and these guys are going to tear them apart. I don't know if Dave has any opinions on it, but they're here and they're ready. Marco, I see your notes, and I don't like that. I don't like your notes.
I got things to say. Let's put it that way.
Things to say. We also have some news out of the preseason and training camp and all that fun stuff. So before that, we have trivia. And last time Marco won, so you can choose first if you want to go first or second. It's a list. You cannot just roll it out.
I'm gonna go second.
Ping ponging, all right? And the first one who loses.
I'm gonna go second.
You didn't even hear the question yet.
Yep.
All right. I just looked up rushing leaders since 2010. Easy, simple shit, as they say.
Since 2010.
Yep, the rushing leaders.
Most rushing yards.
Yards, that's it.
Yes, and this ties into rankings today. So there may be an active player on there. I don't know. Just there you go. Rushing yards 1 to 10, and I do have a tiebreaker.
And I go first.
Yes, you go first.
You gotta think. You don't have to be one first. It's just one of the 10.
Yeah.
1 of the 10, and it's since 2010. So this is a long time. But we've been watching football forever, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Adrian Peterson.
He is number 3 with 10,454.
3. Interesting. All right.
Zeke's on there. He's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 7,386.
Frank Gore.
Fuck,
Gore's on there.
I was waiting on Gore. I'm like, he's got.
I thought it was back to back for me. Actually, honestly,
no, it's not a snake. We don't do snakes. We go.
Why would I not? Wait, why would I ever pick 2 then? There's no reason to go second.
I know. I thought the same thing.
Why would you even give me the option if it wasn't?
To put the pressure on Dave. To put the pressure on Dave to get it right. Now you had that because hold on. If Dave gets one wrong and you get one wrong, we go back. So it's kind of like a safety net for you. Whereas you go first and you get it wrong, Dave only has to get it right. So you have a safety net now at second. Do you not understand this concept? 95%?
No, I don't think you understand this concept. It's the same regardless.
It's not.
One of us
like
get
a
it
draft.
wrong, the next person gets it right, and that's it.
No.
Well, Marco.
Right, anyway, let's see. Since 2010.
So you said Gore, not you, but Gore has been said. Peterson.
What number? What rank does Gore?
Yeah, where was Gore on the list?
2.
I knew he was be up there.
Numero 20.
Oh, so here said Zeke, and he's a current player, so we know he's on the list.
Yeah,
because that ties into my.
It
ties into our rankings later.
Zeke was so low as a current player that I'm wondering how many current players are even on there.
I can tell you that if you want me to tell you.
Can I get?
No,
sure.
I won't yet because Dave already said it's 2. You have to say your 2, and then.
There you go. That's fair.
I'm gonna go with Henry because he's just had absurd.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
It's Derrick Henry. He is 6,797.
Okay, how many total new current players are there?
3.
3 total, including Zeke and Henry.
Still relevant.
I can't say.
Okay,
I can't say.
Wait, 3 more or 3 total?
3 total.
Oh, so only one more current player,
and Henry's one of them. Okay, so just one more. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Let me think. It's 2010.
Marco's gone.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I think.
Your screen. You're off the screen, Marco.
I think he's on there.
Tick tock. 5, 4.
Fuck out of here. I'm gonna go with Steven Jackson.
Ooh. Steven Jackson.
No,
Dude,
too far
in the
back.
mid 2000s, he was a monster. What are you talking about?
2010, Dave. 2010. Since 2010. So
he didn't retire that long ago.
No, but he was back. His career started before then, right? So you're missing.
Yeah, well, so did Adrian Peterson's.
Yeah,
he started in 2007.
He's been playing for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
And Gore. Gore was also played forever. You got to think about these these running backs that last.
There's one more current player on there.
Yeah, there is.
Why is my
He's Googling right now.
No. Nick Chubb.
No
Nick
way.
Chubb's not on.
No way.
Dude, he's coming second like 3 years in a row.
That's the advantage since 2010.
I know, but I was just hoping that maybe he accumulated enough that all right, whatever.
All right, so since that's the advantage of going second, now that you lost, you still can recover. Dave, it's your turn again. That's the advantage.
I get another turn even if Dave gets this right.
Yeah, because we go. Okay. It's all reset.
I don't know why my camera keeps going now. Keep going.
Jesus, man, who's like a current player?
I wouldn't even think about current. I would just think about studs in the past. I mean,
the current players.
Well, I'm trying to think of like who was really good in the mid 2000s.
Not mid 2000s. You need to think
2010s. I mean, that's what I mean.
Yes, Zeke is 2022. He's on this list, so it could be anyone. But just don't think anyone pre 2010.
Well, no shit.
You'd want to be thinking someone drafted in that area.
I have someone in mind.
There's some really good names on this list. Like I would count 1 Hall of Famer, 2 Hall of Famers, 3 Hall of Famers. Like these are legit big names. There's no like Cadillac Williams.
I'm so lost right now.
The one you guys already named Zeke, which I'm surprised. But I think I gave that away when I said we'll talk about it later.
No, Zeke, I didn't. I know how many absurd carries. I know how many absurd carries he's had because of how much I hate him.
Dead air, Dave.
I'm so lost.
I'm putting the timer on 5, 10, 4.
Shady 3. McCoy.
Boom, he's number 1 at 10,000.
Is he really?
Yeah, 10,460.
All right, can I get to recover?
Yeah, you can tell.
Jamal Charles.
No.
I was gonna guess Charles, and I went with McCoy instead.
Not DeMarco Murray.
All right.
I got a couple guys that I want to say, but
number 10 on the list. Number 10 on the list is Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Number 9 is Henry. You guys already said that. Number 8 is DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray was who I was gonna say, and then I switched it.
Then Zeke. Then Matt Forte, 7,629.
Probably wouldn't have got that.
Marshawn Lynch, 7,000.
Marshawn's a good one. We should have known that.
Mark Ingram, 7,800.
Mark Ingram is like 5th or 4th?
He's 4th, yeah. Peterson, Gore, LaShawn McCoy.
I didn't think McCoy would be number 1.
I wonder where Charles falls on that. He couldn't have been that far off from those guys.
Hey,
I was gonna guess Charles, and I went with McCoy. Those were my 2. I was flipping a coin.
My next pick was DeMarco Murray. Then when you said Shady, I was like, "Ooh, Jamal Charles!" Like
I thought I was literally debating between Charles and McCoy, and I don't know why I went with McCoy because I think Charles was like a beast. So, but obviously, so was Shady.
His injuries must have stopped him. That's why Charles' injuries must have stopped him.
Probably a shorter career, you would think as well.
Yeah,
because I mean, McCoy he had some years after Philly.
Oh, I know he was a stud.
Where Charles, he kind of just died off in Kansas City after like 3 good years.
Yeah.
All right, so
how's it going?
That was fun, and that was the whole lead into Zeke, which we'll get to later, of course. I was looking up Zeke stuff for trivia, honestly, because I wanted to piss Marco off and just talk more about Zeke, but it is what it is.
Wait, who was the other current player that we were talking about?
Mark Ingram.
Ingram. Oh, he's not fucking current.
Yes, he is.
Dead.
Oh yeah,
he's dead. But okay.
Hold on.
Well, that's why I said to him like still relevant, and he went. That's why.
I mean, let's just say if Kamara got suspended for 6 games, Ingram would be kind
of
relevant.
He'd
be kind of relevant in the NFL, not fantasy wise. But
that's fine.
Let's get to news. Couple things out of Washington. Antonio Gibson is now. What are you laughing at? What do you think this is funny?
I'm excited to talk about Gibson right now with you two. That's all. Continue.
Okay, well, he's in the news as punt coverage. I guess he's the running back in that situation. He's not with the ones. Brian Robinson is in that position, and everyone's panicking on Gibson. Like, this is a big deal. Like, oh, is he in the doghouse? Is he a third stringer? Will he be cut? Is he going to play? So I ask you guys. Dave, I'm going to ask you first. Mark, I already know your answer because I'm curious on Dave. Do you think this is a huge deal, or is this a statement they're making for Gibson? Are they making an example out of him?
It's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something, and I can tell you I probably won't own him in the leagues. So, I mean, if this continues until I see something change, I haven't heard one good thing come out of camp. And usually in camp, all you hear is good stuff. So, it's not good. That's all I know right now. But we'll see.
Marco?
He's dead. He's dead. And listen, I'm not taking Gibson as anything higher than RB25. I'll take him outside the top 25 running backs. You got a guy who has not been very good. All right. He has been overhyped his entire 2-season career. Okay. Everybody loved him so much for some reason after his rookie year because he collected an absurd touchdown rate. Then in his second year, he did decent in the sense that he was RB11 for running backs in fantasy, and people are going to say that and say he was really good. But with the opportunities that he had last year, he should have been a top 5 running back. He had, I got it here. So he had the 10th most opportunities per game of all running backs. He had the 9th most red zone touches. He had the 8th most touchdowns overall. Like with all those stats and opportunities, he easily should have been a top 5, and he was RB11, and that was with playing 16 games. He was RB19 in fantasy points per game. He just wasn't very good, and he's had a fumble history, 6 fumbles last year, a fumble to start the preseason. Brian Robinson is better. Get over it. Get it off. Move on. Gibson's dead. Thank you very much.
I don't disagree with anything you just said, or Dave, what you just said either. I don't think that he's just dead and gone. I don't think he's just buried. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's going to be where they just cycle in all 3. There's going to be McKissic.
So you want the guy who's not getting goal line carries, who's not getting receptions in a bad offense.
I'm not saying I want
running back committee.
I'm not saying I want the guy because let's be honest. Gibson is only a first and second round or down running back. And McKissick's the 3rd. And Brian Robinson's the goal line guy, possibly, or the red zone guy. So you're right. But have we seen anything from Brian Robinson in the NFL? Have we seen anything yet? So there is some kind of hope. I'm not drafting Gibson at his ADP anymore. There's no way. There's no way. I have him in my rankings. I have not updated them since. And he will be falling a little bit lower than what I have him. But I just don't think he's dead and gone. Last year he had that shin injury from week 3. That shin injury lasted for the entire season. And I know it's an excuse, and I know that we shouldn't be talking about injuries because, of course, my history of Saquon. But when you play through it, that tells me you have guts and you have some kind of like dog in you. He's a dog, but is he going to get the job done? He fumbles. Like at the end of the day, what is this his second full year as a running back? He had 39 carries in college. We all brought that up. He's still learning the position. So maybe they're just making an example out of him and he will be used and he will be good. Maybe not. I'm staying away at his current price. That's all I'm saying. I still like him as a player, but his price, I'm not buying it. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, completely agree. He has not, I get it. We haven't seen Brian Robinson play in the NFL yet. We saw more from Brian Robinson in college than we've seen from Antonio Gibson ever. You got a guy who we all had question marks about because he never really played in college, only had the 30-some carries, whatever, right? And then he hasn't done much in the NFL. I just don't get it. If this was a random veteran, we would all say he's dead and gone, move on to the next guy. But because he's still young, everybody wants to give him a chance, and I don't think it's worth it.
I mean, he's not going to have 258 carries again. He won't. He can't because the other guys are there. The targets are 52. I don't see those going up either. So there's not much. It looks like we're drafting him at a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. So the next part of the news is the Zach Wilson knee injury news. Pick up Joe Flacco, people, because I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be ready for week 1. Surgery went well. They're hopeful, but why rush him when you already know you're going to stink? So does this hurt Elijah Moore? Does this hurt Garrett Wilson, or does it boost him, in your opinion, Dave?
I really don't know. I mean, I think Flacco's he's a veteran. I don't think he's going to be terrible, but he is past his prime, clearly. I think we were all hoping I think a lot of people had big hopes for Zach Wilson, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be out too long. So, hopefully, what's he going to miss? Worst case, the first month of the season. That's almost like a 2-month recovery. I would think by then he'll be back. Hopefully he'll only miss a game or 2. I'm not adjusting any of my rankings with either of these guys yet, unless something comes out that says that he'll miss half of the season. Right now, Hopefully, this drops those guys down. And I can get one of them later. Honestly.
Marco.
Yeah, I agree with Dave. Honestly, I was excited for Zach Wilson. We'll see. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think it's going to be something that he recovers from quickly. So, wouldn't really adjust anybody.
I'm not going to adjust anyone, but it's just unfortunate because he's missing camp time. He's missing preseason time. He's missing reps with his young rookie running back and receiver. The running back's important as well. He's missing reps with Elijah Moore. Like there's new guys, Uzomah and Conklin. Like when you lose reps in the NFL, you know that's a bad sign. I mean, I can't be excited for Zach Wilson this year in this offense unless he has a full preseason with them, and he's just not getting that. So I think in redraft I'm avoiding these guys. Everyone but Brees. Are we boring you, David?
I'm fucking tired.
So tired.
Shut the fuck up.
He's the tiredest he's ever been.
What do you want me to tell you?
You can't drink a Red Bull?
That's what I got one in the fridge. I might go grab it right now.
There you go.
Listen, this happens. You have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and take damn kids to school. So sorry.
Sorry, we're not fathers. I guess we don't take our kids to school either.
You probably don't.
I do. I wake up at 5:30. Then I tweet out. Did you see my tweet? Get up early. Make your kids a balanced breakfast. That's exactly what I tweeted out at 6 a.m. And I did that. Did you?
Congratulations. No, I don't. I do not.
My oldest is 2, so I didn't take anybody to school, but I don't sleep.
So now we're going to get into my awesome rankings. Do you have them pulled up, Marco? Because
yeah,
I know you're going to get into them. Dave, do you even know where they are because you're on your phone right now?
Nope, sure don't. Awesome. I'm going to listen to y'all and I'll trash talk you a little bit.
I like that. So, Marco, where do you want to start off? With my quarterbacks? You want to go receivers?
Let's go in position, order. We'll go with QB, running back, wide receiver, and tight end.
All right, so let me run down at least my top 12 at quarterback real quick. All right, Josh Allen 1, Justin Herbert, Mahomes, Lamar, Dak at 5, Kyler at 6, 7, Hurts at 7, Tom Brady at 8. That's pretty high. Joe Burrow 9, Kirk Cousins 10, Carr 11, and Stafford 12. Now, it looks like you only have one problem in the top 12.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's 2 because Lance not being in the top 12 is also a problem. I won't talk too much about that because I already talked all about Lance and how I feel about him. But Dak being QB 5, I mean, what is it that has you thinking he's going to be at QB 5 over all these guys with the insane rushing upside like Hurts and Lance? Like, why would you have him that high?
Can I say something first?
Yes. Yes.
Dak's a stud. Why are you debating that? Whether he's 5 or 8, the difference is going to be like 2 points per game, maybe max.
No, not necessarily. Listen, Dak is going closer to like the low QB2 side. So I don't know why he would be moving him up this significantly. It's not. I mean, he's jumping like 5 people that he's going behind in drafts right now, at least. It's a pretty big difference to say QB 5, Dave. Like that's an early.
Wasn't he like pick. What was he like 2 years ago before he got the injury? Wasn't he like QB 1 or 2 before he got hurt? And last year he was still. Where did he finish last year? Huh? Nobody cares about nobody. You don't care about Amari Cooper.
I care about Amari Cooper.
No, you don't. Nobody cares about Amari Cooper.
I love Lamb. Lamb is better, but obviously not having the 2 of them is worse. Like I would rather have Amari Cooper and Lamb. I don't know why.
I think Gallup's really good when he comes back. I think Dallas' offense is great.
Have all 3. I mean, listen. I'm just saying I'm not going to take him over. Here's the guys I have him in front of him right now. I have him at QB 11, so I think it's a pretty big difference.
That's so low.
Josh Allen, Herbert, Lamar, Trey Lance, Kyler Murray, Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, Stafford, and Brady. Like, I don't think that's ridiculous. You're talking about mostly mobile QBs and then Burrow, Stafford, and Brady, who were all amazing last year. Like, I love – I'm not saying Dak is terrible. I'm just saying there's so many good options, and to force him to 5 when he lost an offensive weapon and there's other guys who gained it, and I just don't get it. I don't really see that.
We all saw the amazing pace he was on. And like David said, who cares about Amari Cooper? And I'm not saying that, like, I'm just – he's kind of right. Gallup can get you that. There's other guys they brought in that can get him that as well. Do you know what the quarterback 5 – who it was last year? It was Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, which is why I have him so high.
Okay, hold on. He had 41 passing touchdowns, 4,800 yards. You don't think Dak could do that and plus have a little bit more rushing yards or a little bit more rushing upside than Stafford because he can run the ball. You're forgetting he's coming off of major ankle surgery, injury, just destroyed.
It's not that I don't think he can do that. It's that I don't prefer him over these guys. Like, again, to have him over Hurts, who has that insane rushing upside, to have him over Burrow, who is getting in the groove and getting better and better with his young weapons and them improving every year, over Stafford, who we just said was the QB5 last year, who then gained Allen Robinson as his wide receiver 2.
He also gained an injury in his shoulder and he's not throwing right now.
He always gains an injury. Who cares? It's Stafford. He'll keep playing, right? And then you got Brady too, that you even have him over. I don't see it.
I just see the upside with that offense. They want to throw the ball. They want to be explosive. We're going to see the Dak or before the ankle. I'm telling you, I think last year he played scared. I really do. I was watching the games. He played scared. I've already heard schemes where they're going to do some RPOs with him, maybe have him and Pollard and Zeke in the backfield. That adds value. If you don't think rushing with Dak adds value, you're crazy. And then you add on the 4.
So I think it's an assumption to say that he's going to be rushing more, but
the thing with Hurts, and I love Hurts, I really do. I can't really rely on him to, 1, stay healthy because he's a rushing quarterback, 2, be accurate with the football and actually not get benched for Gardner Minshew because they've been trying to trade this guy for 3 fucking years now. 3, have rushing and passing combined to be 40. I guarantee Dak's going to score 40 touchdowns. And you want that in your passing quarterback.
I'm not going to say he's going to guarantee because that's a lot, but I think he's pretty close to 35. I would say is a lot.
How much did Dak have last year? Do you guys know?
No, I don't know how many.
I was just asking you.
Oh, I thought you knew all that.
I do.
My issue with this whole debate is that it's going to be so close. What did you say, 37?
Yeah, he had 37
right. He broke
down
Romo's
year.
record. He broke Romo's record, and I think he missed one game, didn't he, too? I think he missed a game. Yeah, like, Dak's a stud. And my whole issue is if you want to move him down a couple spots or up a couple spots, I don't think it's going to matter. The whole quarterback landscape there's so many good ones, and it's so close that if you have Dak higher than I have Dak, it doesn't matter to me. It's so close. That's why, like, in one QB leagues, I don't give a crap who I get. I'll take the 12th best quarterback, and I'll perfectly happy with that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? That's all.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Wouldn't surprise me if Brady's there. Wouldn't surprise me if anyone's there. But it would surprise me if Dak was out of the top 12.
Oh, easily, for sure. Yeah, I'd be surprised if that happened easily. Yeah.
So there's not.
I think there's a very clear top 12 is the thing. Like there's or 10 or so.
Well, I don't think it's clear because there's a couple.
That's
guys.
why we didn't have much to argue here. You know what I mean?
I think from 10 to 13 or 14 is a really interchangeable.
Yeah, some very interchangeable there.
I mean, I can see Lance. I have Lance at 14 right now, and I could definitely see. I even told Dave this before the show earlier in the day. I said, "Yeah, there's no way Lance is in top 10. It's just hard for me to rank him there because of all the other guys." But
I don't know how you like. I wouldn't be taking Cousins or Carr over Lance. Like I couldn't. I love them both.
Because you like the Lance upside, and I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. The years that Cousins. At least Cousins, right? They both have basically been hitting their upside for a couple years, and I think they maintain that. I think they continue to be QB 10 to 12 range, right? Like that's what those two are. But I don't see any more upside for them, really.
No, was there?
I think that's perfectly fair.
No.
Was there any other quarterback on this list you wanted to talk about, Dave?
Dave.
Not me. No, I didn't. Did I?
I said, does Dave have one? I'd love to hear.
No,
Dave.
I mean, I'm not going to argue quarterbacks. Like I said, I think they're all too close. And I listening to your list, like I didn't see anybody that's like standing out to me at all.
Fair. All right, let's move on to running backs then, because there's a lot of highlighted pieces in the running back situation. Do you want me to run down the top 12?
Sure.
All right, Christian McCaffrey.
Gibson's number 12.
No, he's not. He was last year. I was wrong. I wasn't wrong. He was pretty good. Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook at 3, Joe Mixon at 4, Derrick Henry at 5, Austin Eckler 6, DeAndre Swift 7, Najee Harris 8, 9, Alvin Kamara 10, David Montgomery. Don't laugh, Dave.
Jesus Christ. That's 11, my red flag right there.
11, Leonard Fournette. 12, Javonte Williams. But the majority of the problems I see on this list are 13 through 20. And one of them we've already talked about. So where do you want to go, Marco?
Every year
are we gonna do it?
Every year I gotta go back to this guy. Every year I gotta talk about how much I hate Zeke. I mean, you're gonna make me do it. And what's funny is I actually like Zeke this year at his ADP because his ADP is RB16, and I think that's right around. I'm okay with where he is. Like I actually would have him a little bit lower. I'd probably have him around RB18, which is why I disagree with you at RB13. I think it's too high on this guy. I mean, Josh, again, tell me what you're saying. Maybe this is you just got Cowboy fandom going on right now, but like, what are you seeing in Zeke that you expect his constant regression that he's had to just turn around and him to improve this year and go closer? You're buying a name, man. You're
okay. Real quick, again, can I go?
Yeah,
can I go real quick? Okay, so counterpoint. Mm-hmm. Zeke was a little bit hurt last year, and he still was pretty good. And I'm not a Zeke fan at all, but he's probably going to play every game, and you're going to get solid points out of him. And I would be surprised if he doesn't finish in the 12. I think 15 is like, if he's an RB 15 or lower, that's really low. Like when you think about the guy that was 15 last year, I don't even know who it is, no idea. I'll bet you I'll bet you really disappointed with who that guy is.
Can I tell you something real quick?
You don't want to know. Dave doesn't want to know.
Real quick? In fantasy points per game, RB15 was Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the lowest you're going to get from him.
No, I disagree. That
was a bad year.
Let me go through some stats here that I wrote down for you guys. All right. He's RB15 last year in fantasy points per game. That's with him having 12 touchdowns, the fifth most among running backs. To have the fifth most touchdowns and still end that low is horrible. He had the fourth most goal line carries translated to the touchdowns, right? He had the 9th best run blocking among running backs with at least 15 opportunities. So like out of actual workhorse running backs, he had top 10 blocking on his side. He has had the volume, right? He consistently is having the volume. His offense is good. He had the touchdowns last year. So what's the excuse? There's really none. He just isn't good anymore. He was outplayed by Tony Pollard every single time Tony Pollard touched the ball. I'm not saying he's going to lose the starting job to Pollard, but the only thing I can see happening this year, right, and just translate last year to this year. Last year, he was RB15. I don't see him getting more opportunities. I don't see that. He's getting older. He has even more carries. Pollard was really good and earned more opportunities. So I see his opportunities going down. He had the 5th most touchdowns, 12 touchdowns. I don't see him getting more touchdowns. So that goes down. And he's not getting more effective. He's gotten worse and worse every year in terms of efficiency. So I don't see any reason for him to get better. He's going to get worse. He's going to have less opportunities. He's going to have less touchdowns. He will be a low-end RB2. I like him at his ADP as a
low-end RB2. Dude, that's low. Come on, no.
18 to 24 range. I'll say mid to low RB2.
Okay, here's what Marco's missing on, and Dave, you touched on it. It's volume. Where do I have him ranked? I have him 13th for a special reason, because I do think he's a running back 2 this year. I do. There's too much talent at the top. There is. But what do you look for in your running back 2 in general? You're looking for I want double-digit fantasy points, and I want that upside of that 25-point game. That's Zeke in a nutshell. That is Zeke. He's going to get the carries. He's going to get the targets. He's getting the goal line work. He's getting the, in the 20s to 20 zone, the midfield zone. He's getting everything. He's a
great RB2.
Yes, and I have him at 13 for a reason, because he does have that ability to pop off for you to give you running back 1 weeks. Let's look. I mean, I know you looked at the numbers. He was amazing weeks 1 through 5, 1 through 6. He was amazing. What happened? Look at the stats. He bruised his goddamn ribs. You're complaining about piggybacking your 1-year-old. This guy bruised ribs, and he's trying
to. I've had bruised ribs one time, and let me tell you, it hurt to breathe. I don't know how these guys do it. I don't know how they do it when they get messed up ribs.
No. I'm not blaming that. I'm not blaming it, but you have to look at the first chunk of the season. He was elite again. I remember texting you, "Oh, he's back. He's back."
You want to talk about that, Josh? He's had a healthier season than most running backs would have. If you want to blame the bruised ribs, hell, what if this year he gets even more hurt? He realistically will and should, because he continues to just put on carries after carries. What did we just say? 8th most carries of all running backs since 2010. The dude does not have it left in him. I get what you're saying.
He's dying for sure.
He's dying.
He is dying.
He's a safe RB2, and I get that. I'm not saying he's not, which is why I say 18 to 24. I'm taking him. I actually took him in a few different underdog teams as my safety net, as my third running back on those teams. But you're having him over Aaron Jones, who has the ability to end top 5, and I don't see him ending worse than 12. You take him over Saquon, who I don't even want to talk to you about. I mean, it's fucking absolutely ridiculous. I would even rather Breece Hall over Zeke. Like, there's easily, I'm saying. And then Chubb, of course, Chubb. I don't even understand how that's a conversation to say that Chubb would be lower than Zeke. I mean, you want a safe guy as your RB2? Chubb is the definition of that. So
Chubb don't catch balls. He has no upside.
He doesn't, but Zeke doesn't run efficiently. So I don't know. I'd rather the efficient runner who doesn't play in the receiving game.
For the most part, I agree with everything you're saying. But you know who else is not efficient? Fucking James Conner. Zeke's gonna score touchdowns, whether you believe it or not. Zeke's gonna score touchdowns. He's a goal line. He's good on the goal line. He's gonna get 10+ TDs. I'll almost bet that. He'll get 10 TDs.
That's.
You don't think he's gonna get 10 TDs?
I wonder what his over/under is. I wonder what is his over/under. Anybody know?
He scores 10 TDs accidentally every year. Like he's getting 10 TDs. Well, the offense is too good.
Last year.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
With the 4th most goal line carries of any running back.
But he's not gonna lose that work. That's what I'm saying.
He's not taking it. Who's taking? Is Pollard taking it?
But maybe he just really good at it. Maybe just the team as a whole happens to have less goal line opportunities. You know, I mean, like 4th most is a lot. That's all I'm saying. So
I just think Dallas is good. And okay, what's the worst thing we've seen this show? 9 touchdowns. Like, come on, man. Okay. Like, but he's guaranteed to get you.
The receptions go down because Pollard's more involved.
But I don't think he caught a ton of balls last year.
Right?
He caught 47, 9th most amongst running backs.
Yeah, you take pretty good. You take all those things down a little bit, and he doesn't get more efficient. And that was with him ending RB15. Then mathematically, he's not going to even be a mid RB2, guys.
You know,
I don't see it.
The biggest thing on this is the targets. Remember that one year he had 80 catches or something crazy like that? That was insane. 77 catches.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's never going to get that again. I know he's not, but he's on an explosive offense. He gets a 65% snap share, 66% snap share. It's a lot better than a lot of running backs out there. He ran the 3rd most routes amongst all running backs, 332. Only 2 more ran more routes than him. He's on the field a lot. That's what I'm banking on. And that's what I want for my running back 2. For my running back 2, I want a guy who's always on the field, who always has potential to score a touchdown, and is the quarterback's best friend. That's who I want.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you say the odds are in his favor or against him to get injured in the first 8 games? If you had to pick, does Zeke miss any time in the first 8 games due to injury? Zeke is the 8th most carries.
No.
By the way, was that just carries that we said or touches? I forget. I'm curious.
Carries.
It was just carries, and he's extremely involved in the passing game. So I don't even know what he is in touches. He's top 5 probably in touches since 2010 easily. The guy is bound to get hurt, guys. And if
some guys just know how to take the hits.
What do you mean? You guys act like he hasn't missed time.
He hasn't missed very much. How many games has he missed in his career besides the suspension? I don't think he's missed many.
He missed half a season the one time, right?
Did he?
And then he came back and then he got hurt again, right?
No, that was 2017. He played 10 games. He only missed
that was a suspension.
And other than that, 2020 missed 1 game. 2019 none. 2018 missed 1 game. 2016 missed 1 game.
If this is true, which I don't even believe it is,
can we share my screen?
Then he
doesn't miss games.
He is due.
Oh, now he's due.
I love
that's 1,000% the case.
Hey, when in doubt, pull out the crystal ball. Where's it? Injuries, baby. It's gonna happen.
I feel like happen. Honestly, I feel like he's a really, really safe RB2 with not a ton of upside, but like a safe, like Josh said, like a perfect, just like you're gonna put him in your lineup. He might not pop off, but he's not gonna shit on you very often, and like that's kind of what you're looking for. So
at ADP running back 16, he's exactly who you want as your running back 2.
Like if I can get him in, I don't even know what round he's going. Like in the 4th round, probably. I think it's probably where he's going. I would think maybe. I'd be okay with that after I get a couple of studs in there.
Imagine
I like his ADP, but Josh is saying to take him almost as an RB1 at that point. At RB13.
No, I said RB2.
Okay, but you have an RB13. That is
the
highest RB2.
That's a statement saying that he's an RB2 with the ability to pop off to give you those running back 1 weeks. That's what you want in fantasy.
Zeke way too much.
Yeah, let's move on from Zeke.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Going through this list, the thing you want, in my opinion, the most is the player that can give you the top 5 performances. I really don't want these Gibson performances where you're scoring 11 points and you just outlast all the other running backs. I want top 5 potential, and I think players like him can do that. That's why he's so high. Is there anyone else on this list? We already talked about Gibson. I know you don't want to talk about Barkley. I know you don't.
No,
I don't.
I'm just not going to. But I literally wrote down not worth talking to you about this.
But that's I do want to bring up a name. Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I bring up Dameon Pierce? Did you decide where you want him?
No, I'm going to do that sometime this weekend. I'm going to touch him up for the last time on after Sunday's games. But
can I say honestly, where I have him then?
Yeah, go ahead.
RB25. I'm going to put Dameon Pierce as my RB25.
That would be where Rashad Penny is for me. So
I'd take Pierce over Penny.
And this is purely the combination of volume and talent. I don't care about how bad the Texans are. In fact, perfect example, we just talked about Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson was not very good, but given how much volume he got last year, he still ended RB11, even though Washington's offense sucks, even though Gibson himself pretty much sucked. Doesn't matter because that volume got him to RB11 regardless. And that's what you're getting with Dameon Pierce, is a guy who could get you, wouldn't be absurd if he got you top 10 running back numbers just because the Texans run him into the ground and have nothing else.
And it could be where they just run Marlon Mack into the ground, or Rex Burkhead into the ground, or they just do
Rex Burkhead.
Well, he steals. He's a good goal line back. I'm not saying that he's going to steal all the goal line carries. He's just an unknown for me, and I kind of want to see one more week, reevaluate. He's gonna be on my board. I just have him undrafted right now because I don't know where to put him. I seriously, and I don't want to be a fucking idiot and go, yeah, I think he's here. Why? I don't know why. I want to see some more tape on him. I want to see some more gameplay on him. He'll probably be up there 25-ish range. Yeah. Probably if he's named the starter and he has that path. But right now I don't think he does. I think Mac has the path.
The one note I took down for this is the difference between RB25 last year and RB40 was less than 2 fantasy points per game, right? So if you're taking a guy who's falling anywhere in that range and you're comparing the CEHs and the Miles Sanders and all these guys, right, Rashad Penny, whatever, you want to take whatever guy you think actually has a chance to land in that top 10 or has a reason that he could land in that top 10, right? And that's what Dameon Pierce is if he gets that volume, he could mathematically just end up there. So it's worth it because worst case scenario, you're giving up 2 points by picking the RB40 by accident.
Exactly. You don't want these retreads like Miles Sanders who will never do anything anymore. They're done.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that point. All right, let's go on to wide receiver rankings, where I'm surprised you have one of my guys gold. That's awesome. 1, Cooper Kupp, but gosh, I really want Justin Jefferson up there, but everyone's doing that, so I don't want to be trendy. Justin Jefferson, number 2. Stephon Diggs, number 3. Devontae Adams, number 4. Jamar Chase, 5. CeeDee Lamb, 6. Tyreek Hill, 7. Debo Samuel, 8. Hollywood Brown, 9. Mike Evans, 10. Deontay Johnson, number 11 for Dave. And Michael Pittman, making the top 12. Any problems?
I got problems.
Dave, any problems?
I'll let Dave go.
I want to go to Dave. He's falling asleep over here. Dave, any problems?
Nothing that stands out, no. I think, would you have Evans at like 10?
Evans at 10, yeah.
I'm probably not taking him there, but he's going to finish there because they'll have a bunch of 3 touchdown games, but he's too inconsistent for me. Other than that, nothing really stands out, no.
All right, Marco, I'll let you have the floor.
Well, first off, I gave your Hollywood Brown 1 gold at wide receiver 9. I wouldn't take him wide receiver 9, but I do think 12 range is a realistic possibility. So I like you being bold there. The one that I actually am the most against isn't really, it's not really your fault because you're actually lower than him on ADP than ADP is, but it's DJ Moore. You got DJ Moore at 18, which is actually lower than his ADP, which is 15. And I am out on DJ Moore. I'm really out. I'm going similar to the same. Listen, similar to what I just said. I mean, you're talking about a guy who had insane opportunities and did nothing with it. He was wide receiver 18 last year and wide receiver 26 in fantasy points. Dave, all right, you know what, Dave? Fine. I'll give my spiel. Ready? Since you're gonna for those who are just listening and can't see, Dave's head is going shoo, boom, 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 just all over the place because of how mad he is.
No one can see. No one can see your sound effects.
Yeah.
No one can go.
I made the sound effects too. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Anyway, listen. DJ Moore, wide receiver 18 in fantasy last year, wide receiver 26 in fantasy points per game. All right. He just didn't miss any games, so that's why he was 18. He had 163 targets last year, the sixth most, behind only Kupp, Deontay, Adams, JJ, and Diggs. Do you know what all five of those guys have in common?
They're elite.
Super studs.
They were top 8 fantasy players last year. All five of them were top 8. DJ Moore gets the same type of volume. Where's he end up? 18 and 26 in points per games. He only had 4 touchdowns, which I get. That's going to be the argument of, oh, he's got positive regression. He's going to get more touchdowns. He's never eclipsed 4 touchdowns. So why would he eclipse 4 touchdowns? Because of Baker Mayfield? Why does that make you feel even better? I'm not sure why it would. I don't know if that's actually an improvement. So I don't see. And you have CMC coming back. He's going to lose targets to CMC as well. So he's going to lose opportunity, and he's going to not increase in touchdowns. I just don't really see. If you got that, if you were handed this, it's the same thing. You know what it is? It's similar to Juju. Like, everybody loved Juju back when he was the wide receiver 2 because he was peppered with targets. Well, guess what? He wasn't that good with them. And eventually somebody else comes around and takes them from you. And that's how it works. Deontay comes around and takes them from you, and you lose your opportunity, and you become a wide receiver meh instead of a wide receiver 1. So I'm out on DJ Moore.
So I'm too high on DJ Moore at 18. Dave must be super high. I'm also out on DJ Moore.
Dave's way too high on DJ Moore.
I'm not that high. You guys are acting like the guy sucks. He is what he is. He's literally a mid wide receiver 2, which is where he finished 18. That's where he finishes almost every single year, right there in the middle.
But he was 26 in points per game, Dave. He just didn't miss a single game. Okay, that's not typical.
How many guys played like half a season, which are trash? Like, you can't, like Antonio Brown or some guy like that.
That he was behind. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
or that
probably, yes.
Let's say.
Exactly. One, he is always solid. He's not a super stud. He's not. But one, didn't he have like the most uncatchable targets in the league last year? I'm pretty sure I heard that, or he's up there in that. So you caught all these targets, but if they're uncatchable targets, then what are they worth? Nothing. 2, again, I'm not arguing that he's top 10. I'm saying he's right where he should be, right in the middle of the wide receiver 2. He's got like 1,100 yards every single season. He's catching, I don't even know how many balls, like 80 or something. Like, what more do you want from your wide receiver 2? He's super consistent with that. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he's a bum. I don't think he's in the elite. He's right where he should be. That's all I think of him.
Antonio Brown, Robert Woods, and Calvin Ridley. They're the only 3 guys. Antonio Brown, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley. The only 3 guys in front of him in that fantasy points per game that missed a big chunk of the season. Everybody else played most of the season. So if you want to move him up to wide receiver 23 in fantasy points per game, fine.
Well, that's then exactly what I'm saying. Then how's he so low if he moved down so many spots?
What do you mean?
I'm saying if he went from 18 to 23, like there's other guys that missed time, clearly.
Yeah, but they all miss. That's what I'm saying. He didn't miss a single game. So when you have a guy who didn't miss a single game, and then you have all these guys who miss, it's normal. Everybody in the NFL misses 1 to 2 games. That's every single season. Everybody does that. It's going to be DJ Moore potentially this year. It just happens. Everybody rotates. Oh, they had a full season this year. Next year they miss 1 to 2 games. Like, it's normal.
So he's still a wide receiver 2. Is what I'm saying.
That's where he should be. The lowest end.
Okay, let's get back to the rankings. I do have him at 18. So I guess according to Dave and Marco, I'm not wrong. They look pretty good, so I don't know why you made that one red. To get back on DJ Moore, why I have him so low?
24. That's why.
Because in the end of the day, he only scores 4 touchdowns a year. Yes, he may be unlucky, but now you're getting a downgrade at quarterback where Baker Mayfield's
skip this part, please. Everyone who's listening right now can just skip this.
His career high in touchdowns is 26. Dak had that in like 4 games 2 years ago.
You're comparing him to Dak Prescott. How about you compare him to Sam fucking Darnold? You can't tell me that he's not better than Sam Darnold. You just said he got a downgraded QB. You sound fucking stupid right now. I'm so mad that you said. God, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you so much right now. God, I fucking hate you so much.
So he got a downgraded quarterback.
I just don't think he got a significant enough upgrade. Continue, Josh.
I don't think so either. It's not like Sam Darnold was great either, but he's never had a quarterback. Target share 28% with the routes ran, with the top 5 in air yards every single year.
That's the point. He's getting all of this stuff. That's not going to change. Who's the number 2 now? Still nobody. CMC comes back. Guess what? CMC's not getting 300 targets. Those targets are still going to be there. And as bad as you think fucking Baker Mayfield is, that's fine. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he's not fucking awful like Sam Darnold is.
Listen, Baker's the kind of quarterback that makes you want to trade for a rapist as your quarterback.
Oh God.
I'm just saying. Like he's a guy that he's just so.
So Cleveland said we have Baker who's fine, or we could get one of the top 5 guys in the world.
He's not fine. He was never elite or Super Bowl
before
winning
last
caliber.
Year when he was hurt, he wasn't terrible. Like you make it sound like he's the worst quarterback on the earth. He's not.
But can I say one thing? He wasn't terrible, but he also was arguably the most set up for success of any quarterback, and still didn't capitalize on it.
But how? Because all they do is run the ball.
One of the best, exactly. One of the best O-lines in the league, a run-first offense that's incredibly effective, and they bought the weapons he could want. Odell, sure. Landry, sure. Right, like whatever he could possibly need, and he still was just meh. I'm not saying that he's worse than Darnold. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if you plug Baker onto the Jets and then onto the Panthers, is he worse than Darnold? Maybe he is.
Look, Baker's not a franchise guy. You can say what you want to say about him. He's never been in the top 20 in fantasy points per game.
But he's we're talking about fantasy football. That's different than NFL football.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, but for fantasy, for putting up stats, which we want DJ Moore to catch the ball, right? We don't care if he wins. We don't care if they scored 28,000 points.
That's my point.
We want him to catch footballs. And was Odell happier with Baker or with another quarterback? I don't even want to say
clearly Odell had an issue with the whole offense because they were running too much, which lots of receivers do.
And the balls were getting thrown behind him, in front of him, to the side of him.
Last year, I remember watching him against Minnesota, and he was god-awful. And if he was even halfway decent, they would have blown us out. But the year before that, he wasn't that bad. And everyone knows he was playing with a hurt shoulder. That's not hidden.
Not throwing shoulder.
Okay, when you're hurt and you're worried about getting hit, I don't know. I don't think, again, I'm not saying he's great. He's not great, but I don't think he's definitely, he's 100% better than Darnold. That's not even debatable. It's literally not debatable.
We move on to somebody who I think is too low.
Yeah.
Are we done? Are we done with that one?
Go to the first one, because that will piss Dave off again.
No, I'm not gonna. So
Deontay, you can talk about him. You're wrong again, but it's fine.
No, I said Deontay's too high and not too low, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Allen Robinson is one that I think is too low. I thought that was what Josh was saying, but I'm not gonna talk about him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you definitely have too low, but I've talked about him every single episode, so I won't talk about him.
No, after watching Hard Knocks this morning, he's receiver 2. He's receiver 2 in my book.
He's the best.
He's so shredded.
He's so man.
Dude, did you watch Hard Knocks? Did anyone watch Hard Knocks?
I saw clips of him. I saw clips.
So he's like, I catch 202 balls every single practice, blah, blah, blah. And they did a slow motion of him catching the balls this way, so you can see all of his obliques and his abs. I'm like, he was all shirtless, so slow motion. It was awesome.
You see the thing where he listed off all
16 players,
all 16 wide receivers, even the no names we forgot about, like Tutu Atwell. He listed off all 16 that got drafted before him, what college
and where they went to college. Yep, it was awesome. That's great. I love that guy. I think he's gonna be a dog.
He is.
Oh, here we go.
But we don't have to talk about him, because everybody should know that you should be drafting him as your wide receiver 1. Chris Godwin is who I want to talk about. Chris Godwin is ADP wide receiver 21. You have him at wide receiver 26, which is low. I mean, 20. Dave, I want to hear what you have to say about Godwin at 26.
I love Godwin, so I think that's low. I mean, without seeing the rest of the list, I just think that's low too, for sure. Because once Godwin comes back, he's super, super good. I don't know how long he's going to miss games, which I'm assuming is what Josh baked into his ADP or his ranking. So I guess I'll give him a little bit of break for that. But I again, I guess it depends on who's around. If I'm taking Godwin as my wide receiver 3, where I can wait, if I stocked up early and I'm like, oh, here's a good deal, or do I need a guy who around that ADP? I need a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2 because I took running backs early. So that's whatever. But I love Godwin.
The injury is definitely baked in to my ranking. I would have him over Moore, Robinson, Sutton, DK, Mike Williams. Like I'd have him. You can see my list. I'd probably have him where AJ Brown is. I would just move AJ Brown down and put him at 15. If we knew Godwin was 1,000% healthy, we knew that there was no offensive line problems, and we knew that he was going to be full go. There's offensive line problems in Tampa. There is, big time. I just don't think he's going to be healthy all year. We've seen guys come off their ACL injuries, and they don't look right away. We saw that with Kupp. We saw that with other, receivers. Not everyone's Odell. Not everyone can just come back and just become an amazing athlete. Some guys take time, and I think Godwin's going to take time, and I think Mike Evans is the alpha there. He's going to take a lot of targets. I think they brought in Gage. They're going to use him. They're going to just let Godwin kind of ease into the role. They're not going to push him right away. So it's going to take down his total production at the end. But by week 10, he's going to take over, be that slot receiver, and put up game-winning, performances. So I love Godwin, just not the front of the season.
So you said, if he was 100%, blah, blah, blah. If Godwin didn't get injured and there was just no injury to even worry about and he was fully healthy, he would be my wide receiver 6 this year. And that's not.
Whoa, that's high.
Listen, let me say.
And I love Godwin, but that's high.
He was wide receiver 10 last year. Wide receiver 10. Now, not everybody realizes that for some reason. Goes under the radar. And he was wide receiver 8 in fantasy points per game. He just missed those last couple games of the year. So you're talking he was wide receiver 8 with Antonio Brown there. They only had like 5 games overlap because Antonio Brown missed time too. And they both missed time. But with Antonio Brown there for 5 of those games and with Gronk there for a good chunk of those games as well. And you lose both those guys. And Godwin has always been the guy. You say Evans is the alpha. He's not. I mean, Evans is like the alpha, right? Like the big ass guy. But like he's not the wide receiver 1. He's not the main target. It's actually Godwin. Godwin would get more targets. He would be peppered with targets, and he is the best on this team at yards after catch. At everything, he'll be found in the red zone without Gronk there, I think, more often. I really, really, really like Godwin. It's just the injury concerns, but it's not enough for me to throw me off of a guy that I think would have been a top 10 more than taking him, wide receiver 18 probably, right? So like to have him all the way down at 26, like I think having him at wide receiver 18 is already significantly baking in his injury. Right. I don't know why we have to drop him all the way from a potential top 10 wide receiver to a wide receiver 3 when he's supposed to be healthy, right? Like I would get if it was, oh, well, there's concerns he's not going to be healthy. He's supposed to be healthy. People are just saying, oh, the season after an ACL tear, he's not a running back. Like, I don't think it has to be that serious where we're saying the season after an ACL tear, he's just going to be irrelevant. He's going to be worse, but irrelevant wide receiver 3 status.
I don't think it's irrelevant. I'm telling you, I'm baking that into he's gonna miss or be guided into these games lightly. They don't really need him in the front end. They just don't. That's not how the Bucs operate. And you have to understand the reason. And I'm not saying he's a great player. Like I said, if he'd be a high end wide receiver 2 for me. The problem is Evans is there. Like he takes all the red zone targets, all of them. You know that. Dave knows that. Everyone knows that. And the reason why he's been so good is because he's never hurt. This is like his first major injury. We know Evans is game time decision every fucking week. Some weeks he's out there just jogging because he's a decoy. So Godwin's getting these targets. But when Evans is number 1 healthy, plus you're adding Julio. This year. We didn't even bring that up. I'm not saying hold on.
Irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. You guys are wrong on this. I'm not saying he's going to come be this fantasy all-star. But I do think he assumes the move the chains, comfortable with Brady. Brady recruited him to get there. The only reason why he's there is because of Brady. That's it.
He's not gonna contribute more than what Antonio Brown contributed last year.
I think
Antonio Brown was still a better player than Julio is today. Last year,
I think the same.
Yeah,
I think they'll contribute the same.
Okay, at the most it's the same, and then you lost Gronk. So again, that contributes to Godwin being able.
I don't think Julio will be as good as AB. AB was really good when he played. Look at the
yeah,
stats. AB was really good. Yeah, he was.
I don't think Julio is going to be anywhere close to what AB was.
No way, man. I would be surprised if that happens.
The same. Yeah.
Your boy Julio last year had 31 catches, 434 yards, 1 touchdown, which is huge for him. I mean, yeah, he didn't play enough games to actually look at his entire season, but he wasn't horrible. He was just meh. Right? Like Julio wasn't great, but come on, put him with Tom Brady. That's talking with Ryan Tannehill. Tom Brady makes stars. I mean, Gronk was.
I just don't think the thing is, I mean, I think while Julio is healthy, he'll be like okay, but I don't think is he going to stay healthy. Like at this point, you can't rely on that. You know what I mean? Like.
And can we rely on Brady to throw 700 million balls again? I mean, Fournette's going to get his dump downs.
Probably.
Gage, they didn't sign Gage and not use him. He's still going to be involved. Like this is a spot where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. So why would you rush Godwin back and put him full potential? Why would you put him full route tree?
Okay, but let me ask you something. Let's say so you got this player that that come mid-season, right? Or not even mid-season. Like it's not gonna take more than 6 weeks, Josh. Like right for him to really get into everything again. 6 weeks in, he's a top 10 wide receiver from then on out.
Yeah. Okay.
You're taking him as a wide receiver 3. I'll take 6 weeks of having to use somebody off the waivers and Godwin sit on my bench if I have to.
How do you project,
it's the same thing.
How do you project Hopkins this year? Do you think Hopkins will be good?
I was going to say it's the same. It's the same thing as Hopkins. A lot of people, Hopkins is out for 6 games, out, not even playable, and yet he's still being drafted as a wide receiver 3. Godwin's not going that much significantly over Hopkins. So for you, at least in these rankings, right? Where do you have the two apart from each other? You have Hopkins at 37 and Godwin at 26, and Hopkins is out for 6 games.
I do know that. Yes, that's for sure baked into that. That's why I'm so I don't touch him. I don't even want any part of him.
But Godwin's just as good if they're both playing and healthy. So even if you say it takes 6 weeks for Godwin to get there, like that's a long time. But he's going to be playing for those 6 weeks, so you can actually use him. It's not like you're taking an empty bench spot for 6 weeks like you are with Hopkins.
That's true. No, you're right. But the only good thing is about Godwin, you can put him on the IR on your fantasy team. Hopkins, you can't do that. Suspensions players, you can't do that. It's a little edge, just a little trip right there. I wish we could. There should be a suspension. What do you mean?
You mean for Godwin? You mean
you could put him on the IR if you draft him, put him on your IR. Boom, that's awesome. Hopkins, you can't do that. That's why he's a lot lower because he's just gonna eat up your roster for a while. And look at Hopkins' numbers last year. He was good. He wasn't featured. He wasn't the guy we all think he was. He just wasn't.
I know he wasn't.
Dave knows that. Dave's smart.
I know I like Godwin more. That's what I'm saying.
And I have him higher.
You're gonna have yeah, I know. I'm saying even if you have Hopkins as high as 36, Godwin even higher.
Dave, the guys I have ahead of Godwin, which give or take, you can trash him or not. Elijah Moore, the upside, he's gonna play all the games. Allen Robinson, you know I love him. Sutton's return with Russell Wilson. DK Metcalf, he's a stud. Mike Williams, you know how much I love him. Terry McLaurin is the alpha there, the only option. Brandon Cooks, DJ Moore, like these guys aren't scrubs. These guys are still good players that can finish that high.
Yeah, it's true.
So they're not like I'm not throwing in fucking Christian Kirk, George Pickens.
Yeah,
should apparently Pickens is number 1 pick now.
Can I break down a trade in this dynasty league that you weren't invited to, Marco?
Yeah, please.
Somebody took Pickens as the number in a startup dynasty. Took Pickens, the number 1 wide receiver rookie, off the board.
No, he wasn't. Someone else said at least Olave went before him, I think.
I don't think so, remember. Man. I'm pretty sure it was.
You're not far off from agreeing with that, Josh.
What do you mean?
Let me pull up these Josh wide receiver rankings that I have here. George Pickens, 41. Drake London, 38. Overall, you only have them 3 spots away from each other in a redraft overall.
Yeah, I think Pickens is gonna be elite. I think he's.
So you think Pickens should be the number 1 receiver?
In dynasty, I like Garrett Wilson more. But this year, I like Pickens more. Don't ask me why. Flacco,
makes zero sense. It's like the opposite.
I know. But here it is. You're right. But I think Pickens is actually going to overplay Claypool. I don't like Claypool this year. But let's get back to the dynasty. He traded Pickens, as I guess London was picked before, for a 4th round pick next year, a 2nd round pick next year, and Cole Kmet.
Another second. Oh,
another second and Cole Kmet.
2 seconds of 4th and Kmet.
What? So he drafted him that high and then traded him for nothing?
First of all, it wasn't even that high. It was the 8th round.
But still,
so I mean, that's
Garrett
not
Wilson.
low.
All he did was drive down our first round.
8th round?
Yes. All he did was drive down our value.
That's a starting player on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It was
starting player being traded away for 2 seconds and a nothing done yet tight end.
A 4th round pick.
A 4th round pick's not even worth mentioning.
It's not even worth mentioning.
You won't even. I wouldn't
have
use that pick.
I would have. Honestly, if I knew he's gonna go for that cheap, I probably would have traded for Pickens myself.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I would have 1000%. I would have given up more than that. Ridiculous, but
this year, and I think Pickens is overvalued.
I have him at 41. It's not bad. It's not
all
bad.
Right, tight ends.
Dave's getting really tired. Look how grumpy he is. Tight ends.
I have a show to do too, so I might cancel on them.
You should. I don't think they'll want you on if you're going to be like this. Jesus Christ, dude.
But they're a lot more cool than you guys, so.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right, number 1, Mark Andrews. Number 2, Travis Kelce. Number 3, Kyle Pitts. Number 4, George Kittle. 5, Darren Waller. 6, Dallas Goedert. 7, Dalton Schultz. 8, Mike Gesicki. 9, Zach Ertz. 10, TJ Hawkinson. 11, Dawson Knox. 12, Pat Freiermuth. Not much highlighting on this one.
No, I mean, tight ends are tight ends. You know, the board again. I either get a top 4 or close your eyes and throw a dart. I'm a top 4. I'd rather have a top 4 tight end. I'll take Kittle, Kelce, Andrews, and Pitts. One of those guys. But I mean, the highlighting that I did do, I like Robert Tonyan this year if I'm gonna wait, and Taysom Hill is just not. Well, Tunyan's he's practically undrafted. Dave, you know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna wait on a tight end at that point and just get one of those, I'm punting tight end, right? You got Tunyan there who had 11 touchdowns 2 years ago. Devontae Adams is gone, the main touchdown guy on that team. So, I mean, there's obviously the opportunity for him to get those touchdowns, and if you're taking a guy at tight end 20. And he gets 10 touchdowns, he's returning that payment easily. And then Taysom Hill is going like really undrafted, like not even not even a top 25 tight end. And I find that interesting. I don't know if I'm missing something. I wanted to ask you guys because I'm taking him in every single underdog league. Like you got a guy who plays in the Wildcat and he's labeled a tight end. Like
okay, but again, are we remembering that Sean Payton isn't there? Like, I think things are going to be different, right?
Of course, things are going to be different. But let's not forget, Taysom Hill has been effective. Whether Sean Payton's there or not, they have seen this guy play in the NFL, and he has been effective in the things that he's done. I'm not saying he's going to be a QB, but I'm saying they might move him in motion. They might give him the ball in some interesting ways, and you might be seeing this guy get a couple touchdowns because of that. I don't think he's going to be a consistent top 10 tight end, but for him to be going practically undrafted, like I would much rather the upside of the few games he's, if he gives me 3 games at 25 points, I'd much rather that than whatever Tyler Higbee and Logan Thomas.
You're right. I think you're right. Take him late, sure, why not? But in regular draft, you can't take him there. Like you're hoping for 3 games out of him. You just can't take him.
Maybe the rest of the year he is decent enough though. Like why? What if they use him? If he is the starting tight end, that's a totally different thing than he's seen. It's actually better than what he's been with Sean Payton.
Yeah,
right?
But I mean, I don't think he is a guy. I think he is at this point. He is what he is. He's a gadget player. He's not a straight up tight end. He can't block. He's way too small. You can't put him on the edge to chip. Someone's gonna run the guy over. Yeah, he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna have a couple games where he'll throw a touchdown or he'll rush for a touchdown or whatever. But in a regular redraft league, I think he kind of is undraftable. Well, I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
A 2 tight end league. I'm not taking him in a single tight end.
But that's what I mean. Like in a regular redraft league, like most leagues, I don't think he's draftable.
Yeah, but that's why we're talking at the very bottom of the list. I agree with you. I'm not saying he's a top 10. I'm just saying for him to be going, his ADP is tight end 30. I think that's too low. Like
I'm not touching him. My thing is with yes, he has the upside. But if I'm talking about main tight end upside, I want the young, athletic guys like Irv Smith, Cole Kmet, David Njoku, guys like that. I really have no interest in Taysom Hill or Robert Tonyan because he doesn't have that upside. Yeah, he scores touchdowns, but
if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's worthless, basically.
Sure, but we saw the upside. He ended tight end 4 2 years ago.
I'll take the upside touchdown. I'll take the touchdown upside with the better team. Well, not better team. Yeah, Patriots.
Dawson Knox.
I'll take the Patriots guy, Hunter Henry, over Tonyan, which I do have him ranked over. And Yes, he was touchdown dependent, but hey, they paid him all that money. Follow the contract.
Nope.
Right, Dave?
No,
That's right. That's what I heard.
Follow the money, baby.
No thanks.
All right, hey, enough tight end talk. Let's get into some over-unders, and then we're going to close out the show with one last question. Shouldn't be too long. Make these rapid fire kind of. So we're doing some more or less, some over-unders on some players. So Justin Fields, rushing yards, 500. Over-under.
Over.
Go over. That's a lot, though.
It's a lot, right?
It's a
But
lot.
It's a lot.
I think he should be running for his life. Plus, he is a good runner. Did he have 300 something last year?
I think it'd be smart if they went over. Yeah, I think it'd be smart.
I think it's gonna hit the over. I think he's gonna have to. They don't have any targets. He's gonna be scrambling a lot, running for his life.
You know, he'll just have one random game at like 100, like ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, you gotta bake in the extra game, and that actually does matter. Yeah, that extra game. Rashad Bateman, over under 825.5 receiving yards.
I think over.
Go over.
Yeah, it's got to be over. Has to be.
Yeah, that's low. That seems low.
It seems low, yeah. Baker Mayfield, over under 3,600.5 passing yards.
Over.
Going under.
I'm going under. I don't think he starts all year. I don't think he starts all 17 games. He's never 36 is a lot for him. That's a big feat for Baker Mayfield. Jalen Hurts, over under 22.5 passing touchdowns. Did I say Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, it hurts. I'm gonna go. Oh man, that's like perfect. I'm gonna say under.
Like I think it's the whole
but
thing,
yeah,
right?
I think it's gonna be like right there. Like I don't know what to say. Like I feel like it's a good number.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with under as well.
I'm gonna go over. I think that this is the year he gets to at least 28. That's good for him. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We'd want that.
Yeah, it'd be great for that because he's gonna rush in probably.
We
A
don't
lot.
want that.
10 to 12.
As a Giants fan, I do not want that. But okay.
Lamar Jackson, over under 5.5 rushing touchdowns.
Come on, how is
Under.
this not over?
Under.
5.5.
Under.
I'll take that. I'll take it over.
Under. I'm taking the under. Marco.
What do you have? What do you have last year?
I'm looking at right
hurt.
now. He doesn't. Let's see. He had rushing touchdowns. Why isn't it showing his rushing touchdowns? I gotta go to a different site. He doesn't score a lot of rushing touchdowns. At least not that I remember. Maybe I'm going to be totally wrong, and you guys are just going to call me a fucking idiot again. Jackson, rushing.
He only had 2 last year, but he had 7 back-to-back years before that. I'm going.
Yeah,
over.
he was hurt last year. He missed like half the year.
I'm going over.
I'm going under. Just for fun, why not? And the last one, I didn't want to talk about it, but Hollywood Brown, 825.5. This should be the easiest slam dunk. Put all your money on this. Over. Put all your money on it.
I'm going over.
He'll have this before DeAndre Hopkins comes back. Easily.
Okay.
6 games. They have 150 yards a game.
I mean, I told y'all he's going to lead the league in targets. All right. We have one question from our buddy Jacob over there at the Say It Again Network, our good buddy. I love that guy. He's in a lot. He joined like 5 dynasties this year, and he's in Sweeps Dynasty that you're not in, Dave, by the way.
I know. I told you that. I knew that he was in. I said Jacob when I texted you that. Yeah. You read. Apparently you don't read.
I don't. I don't know where the question went because you guys were calling me idiots about the 95% thing, but I think he wanted to ask in a snake redraft with no third round reversal, if you're on the turn.
No, first he said where would you like to pick?
Oh, where
what's your favorite pick? And then if you're on the turn, what's your like strategy or something?
I don't have a favorite pick. I really don't.
I do. I want to pick high. I just want the highest pick I can get because I think that one, you're getting your best players, you can get whoever you want, and the talent in the second round is pretty similar. So I want the better player.
I'm actually, if it's not a top 2 pick, I either want a top 2 pick so I can get CMC or JT, or I want a bottom 3 pick like 10, 11, or 12, because at that bottom pick right now, and this goes into what my strategy is this year. And I don't typically have a strategy, but I just continuously work this year. I'm going running back at the back half of that and at the turn, and I'm taking 2 of Mixon, Najee, Saquon, or like Swift, like one of the 2 of those 4, and I'm setting myself up big time after having that.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't have a favorite, so I can't tell you. I've draft everywhere. I adapt. But if I'm on the turn, that's hard because you're sitting there going, okay, these 2 guys I'm taking, who am I going to take? And then you have to wait 23 more picks or whatever it is to pick again. So you have to really reach and get your guys. Yeah, and that's the only advice I can tell you. Just reach. If a guy's ADP is like 10 picks from now and this is your last pick, just take him. Who cares about ADP?
Yeah, you have
at that
to.
Point?
That's kind of why I like the turn, because then you have that reason to tell yourself, like, don't risk it. Don't wait. You can't wait.
Because you can't wait. Yeah.
You have to take it.
If it's a player that you love, like, you're like, okay, well, I'm taking him now because I know he won't come back to me.
Meanwhile, when you're sitting in the middle of the draft, you're like, they could fall back, and then you get snaked right before.
And you're pissed.
I thought he would fall.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that happens way too much in snake drafts. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. We're gonna go ahead and log out. Dave's such a superstar on his other podcast. He puts glasses on.
I got too many shows. Everybody wants some Dave love. You know what I mean? What can I say?
You're on a show Monday night. You're on a show Wednesday night. Like, what is going on? But
I got another one. Well, I was gonna have one tomorrow, but they canceled. We're doing next week. So yeah.
I'll take 0 Dave love. Thanks. I'm good.
You liar. You love me.
I'll take 0 there.
Follow us on Twitter, Josh Kimball OUS, at Viking David. Marco's never on there. I tagged you today. Thanks for responding. We'll be back next week preparing you for our drafts. It's our last show before all drafts. We have a bunch of drafts this weekend.
Let's go.
So I got drafts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
you got Thursday drafts?
It's an online. Another redraft. We don't have a redraft league together. We should set up a redraft league together. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this offline.
But that's it for the show. Catch us